Hey, I'm Geeky Pastimes, and this is a quick video just because I wanted to talk about this incredible piece of artwork that we've got from the Call of Duty Twitter account for Firebase Z, which comes out in 2 weeks on February 4th. So this is something they tweeted out earlier as, part of the campaign for this. I have to say, this whole thing just looks absolutely incredible. Like, I really want a physical copy of this. But I wanted to have a quick look at some of the things that, I've noticed in there, some of the details, some of the things that, I'm sure other people will be able to explain to me in the comments, because as most of you know, I'm sure if you're watching this video, I'm not a zombies expert. I'm not a zombies lore expert. I'm just someone who kind of enjoyed playing the zombies maps before, very, very casually, then got into it seriously, really, just with Black Ops Cold War, just with D Machine. So I'm going to sort of speculate a little bit on this, and then I'm expecting a whole bunch of corrections, a whole bunch of extra information down below in the comments. That would be super helpful. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. So, obviously, in the center of this image, you've got the Firebase Z logo, which I think is really cool. It's got this kind of Russian style with the A and the R. You've got the sort of backwards R there. I think that's very, very cool. And the star above it as well. It's a really nice logo. It's really cool. Like, just to have such a well-made logo for one map, I don't know. I think it's pretty cool. Then above that, you've got this creature. Now, this is a creature we've seen before in the sort of images that have been released for this, and we've got a bit of a better view of it here now. So before we were sort of thinking, like, is it some kind of thing related to the Magua? Like, I sort of thought it looked a bit like an anglerfish type thing. Now looking at it, it looks more like it's kind of almost like a plant, that it looks like it's kind of vines or something coming off it, which looks very, very cool. And it's got this blue light behind it, and this blue light is obviously connected to the dark ether. Like, we've had the blue, sort of the way the sky goes blue, and the jellyfish, that sort of bluey purpley color scheme that they've used in D Machine. It seems like we've got that, and this seems to have it like in its core, in its soul. And it's kind of interesting because in the previous zombies map, everything was kind of green. If you think of like the Megaton and the Plague Hounds and things like that, it'd be interesting to see whether they are going with this idea of there being like a slightly different color scheme for different zombies maps, something like that. But I thought it looks very cool, and you've got these two kind of horn tentacle things behind it, and then this very, very sort of deep mouth with massive teeth on it, and some tonsils, which I find quite funny. Although that's not the bit that's actually the tonsils, is it? I can never remember what that bit's actually called. I'm sure someone will be able to tell me what that is. But I'm guessing, like, this is the elite monster, isn't it? Like, this is the thing that's going to replace the Megaton. This is what's going to be in this map. Then, looking around him, you've got loads of zombies, similar to the picture before. We've got lots of sort of Vietnamese zombies. We've got some Russian zombies. We've got a German zombie. We've got zombies from all over the place. Now, the mixture of sort of Vietnam, Russia, and Germany is obviously kind of interesting from a story point of view. Makes you wonder what exactly is going on here. We had a similar mix of sort of German and Russians with D Machine, and that made sense because of what had happened, that this was something that was run by the Nazis in World War II, and then the Russians came across it later. But this is sort of kind of interesting as to why have we got Germans here at all. It's going to be interesting to see kind of, are we staying in Vietnam for the whole thing? They've already talked about teleporters. Are we going to be moving across to another, like a completely different region? Or is it just meant to be that, some German scientists did come out here to work on this portal? Who knows? But I'm really excited to see what it is. Then moving up to the thing that's probably caused the most kind of discussions and the most kind of interesting theories to be put out there is, who are these three people at the top? Now, the middle one obviously is Samantha. Like, we're pretty sure that's Samantha. We've been told that in this map we're going to be going to try and find Samantha. We're going to be trying to rescue her. The interesting thing about this image is kind of that her picture's been cut in half by some energy coming from that building which is holding the portal, and we know from the satellite images that this is the building that holds the portal, and that energy is kind of splitting in half into what looks like a normal version of Samantha and then a dark ether version of her. Now, what that dark ether version is, like, who knows? She's got that sort of glowing blue eye that seems to look a little bit like the portals and things like that we've seen before. It's the same kind of color, same color scheme as what you see in the creature and in the sort of dark ether sky as well, which is very cool. Also, she seems to have what at first I thought might be sort of like burn marks or something like that on her face. But if you look closer, it's actually like face paint, it looks like. They look like fingerprints, like they've had some sort of face paint smudged, almost like war paint smudged onto her, which looks really, really strange, but very, very cool. And her hair's got these sort of little red purpley tints in, like the same sort of colours as the jellyfish I was talking about before. Now, you've also got a couple of other things in there. You've got these two other guys, one to the left and one to the right, and I'm not going to pretend I have any idea who these people are. Obviously, we've got the R that's been put on some of the images that have been released for this map that lots of people have assumed is Richtofen. Like, they obviously want us to think that's Richtofen. At this point, I'd almost be surprised if it wasn't. I feel like lots of people would be very let down. It seems like either of these people could potentially be him, although the guy on the right to me looks maybe a tiny bit more Asian. I've seen people saying the guy on the left could be lots of different people. People in the comments were saying that it could be Dempsey. I don't know. To me, it doesn't look that much like Richtofen at all. But I could be wrong because we've only seen kind of older Richtofen and much, much younger Eddie. So it could be, I could be completely wrong. It could be some entirely new character, like maybe R is some character we don't know about. We also have Peck as well, who's the guy that's mentioned in the intel, then is mentioned on one of the images that's been released, is some guy who was kind of in charge of the facility. So one of these people could be Peck, like could be this person who is meant to be in charge of this whole place. Remember when we did the last map, we had all these spectral reflections where we sort of saw the past of it. We could easily, like, these people might not actually still be alive, like who knows. But it is very, very exciting. Now, other things that I've noticed, other things that seem pretty cool. You've got some sort of generic looking buildings, but one of them's got a big number 2 on the right. I just thought that was kind of interesting because there weren't any other numbers on it. And it makes me think, obviously that could just mean building 2. But part of me thinks maybe that's going to have some significance. Maybe that's going to be something to do with the Easter egg. Like, here's hoping. There's also a satellite dish on top as well, which, could be something we can interact with, or it could just be a piece of art, who knows. Then the bottom left, you've got that logo with the 21 underneath it. I'm not sure, is that just the company that did the art for this? Is that the company that made the poster? Or does that have some deeper meaning? I'd love to know in the comments, because if this is a company that's made this, that, sell prints or something, I would love to be able to buy one. You've also got the sort of more generic Vietnam imagery, Vietnam war film imagery of the helicopters going by with loads and loads of fire in the background. Obviously that could just be linked to the score streaks, like the score streaks that you can buy. That could be what that's talking about. But it would be cool if maybe this had sort of, fire erupting around the map as the Easter egg progresses or something like that. Could give it a really, really cool look. It definitely seems like fire is going to be a big part of it. Maybe that's what we're going to do at the end of it. We blew the first one up in a nuclear explosion. Maybe this one we're going to burn it to the ground. Who knows? But it looks very cool. Anyway, I'm super excited about it. I'm going to be going for the Easter egg world first, as we did last time. Going to be doing that on February the 4th. Going to be streaming the whole thing on YouTube. So please do subscribe. Put the notifications on to let you know when it goes live. I'll do some more of these videos if people like them. When we find out more information about this, hopefully we'll get maybe the intro cutscene in the next week or so. Maybe we'll even get a gameplay trailer. Whatever they do, I'll come back and talk about my thoughts on it. And like I said, please do correct me on things that I've got wrong or things that I've missed, because I just want to find out more about this stuff. I am not an expert, so I'm super excited to hear what you have to say. Okay, so thank you very much and goodbye.